What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Football Forecast Triple Threat episode number 2. Didn't do an episode last week because it was Thanksgiving and everything. We want to do it every Thursday at 7 p.m. And it was Thanksgiving, so I didn't want to take away everybody's Thanksgiving. And I was out of town. I don't know if you guys were out of town, but yeah, I was just kind of chilling out every Thanksgiving. I could really do an episode then, but yeah. So I hope all you
Yeah, same
guys.
here, same here.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, everybody's kind of just chilling, and I thought it would be best if we just hold off, a week, give everybody time to kind of regroup, get back next week. But yeah, we're here, made it to next week in the holiday season, so I hope you guys all had a happy Thanksgiving as we get into the Christmas season here. And yeah, so when we get into the Christmas season in football, especially in the NFL, that means playoffs. And what we're looking at now
Yep.
is the teams finalizing themselves into the playoffs, right? And we have a bunch of different things. I mean, number one, I think the biggest thing that happened this week is Ron Rivera's firing from the Panthers. So, I mean, right off the bat, what do you guys
Surprising.
think about that? Yeah, like that's the one word I could say. It's surprising. But what do you guys think about that? I mean, what's your take?
Uh,
So,
yeah, you go ahead.
okay, yeah. So, honestly, that took me by surprise because Ron Rivera is one of those coaches that he can really bring a team together. And you see, in 2015, he brought them to the Super Bowl, and really, the team since 2015 hasn't really changed. All
Yeah,
they've done is gotten younger. So, to see what he's done with um, Kyle Allen as the starting QB as Cam Newton's gone down, it's very impressive because what they're 6-6 or something, 7-5.
yeah, I think so.
Uh,
Right now they're 5-7
yeah, I think
actually.
so.
Right now, 5-7. So
Oh,
they're
I,
second
I
in the
mean,
NFC
we'll
South.
start with you.
yeah, that's not bad at all. And I don't know why the Panthers would fire him because he's probably the best candidate or the best coach for them. And also, who's available? You have Mike McCarthy, but I don't really see Mike McCarthy.
I mean, yeah, you're. I think that's right on with what everybody else was saying. They're 5-7 right now. Nothing like you look at the Cowboys and you look at the Bengals and you look at other teams that could, and the Falcons especially. Look at other teams with coaches that could be fired right now, and they're not doing it. But for the Panthers to fire Ron Rivera after being just a mediocre team, really, since the
Yeah,
Super Bowl. I mean, that's really unheard of. I mean,
Yeah, and also like, I'm not cutting out, right? Just want to make sure.
no, you're good. Yeah.
you're good.
All right, just want to make sure. But yeah, like you guys are saying, he's taken a team with minimal talent. He's had a decent season, like we said, and I also know he's like one of the more respected coaches in the league. Not many people
That's
have gone
that's
out and
true.
like
Yeah,
I mean, for real.
criticized him or argued with them. I mean, now and then, there'd be a little bit of like, mainly whenever Josh Norman, Cam Newton. That's like the only instance I can ever think of
yeah,
under his like
right.
coaching regime. But eventually, a time when you gotta like come back to being normal.
Yeah, I mean
Yep.
that's completely right. I don't know just why they pinned it all on the coach. I mean, when you look at it from other perspectives, a lot of people are saying, it's Cam Newton. I mean, what do you guys think? Does Cam Newton have any responsibility for this? I mean, for the firing of Ron Rivera? I mean, looks to.
I mean, I don't really know. Cam Newton has always been a talker, and he's always been the way he is. And he's like an AB. He expects everything, and he's not a good teammate. I mean, literally, Super Bowl, one of the most famous things was he should have dove. And I mean, like, it's just that kind of mentality.
Yeah, mentality.
You can't coach players like that. So I don't really take it as Ron Rivera's fault that Cam Newton's the way he is. I mean, Cam Newton, in my opinion, he shouldn't be on the team anymore. I would have rather traded Cam Newton and fired Ron Rivera, because Ron Rivera is a great coach.
Yeah.
He gives everything he can for his players. You have, like you said, you've never heard anything bad about Ron Rivera. You've never heard any problems about Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera has always been an under-the-radar coach, and I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, 5-7 isn't the best, but I mean, it's better than the Bengals going 1-11 with a brand new head coach.
You're completely right. I mean,
I'm pretty sure he also won Coach of the Year, I think, twice in his time with the Panthers. So, I mean, that's just a testament to what he does.
That makes no sense to me. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, the reason why I went to that Cam Newton thing is that's the only thing I can contribute, his fire to. If they haven't been back to the Super Bowl or they really haven't been a competitor in the playoffs, since then, since they made it to the Super Bowl, it's more to contribute than a Super Bowl hangover after that long of a run. I mean, that was Super Bowl 50, right? And now we're in like Super Bowl 54. So.
Yeah.
I mean that's a long time, and it's just Cam Newton on the surface, the player that has not been a great teammate, that has not been there to spark up the Panthers when they need it. I mean, since he's been there. We talked about it, I think, in the first triple threat when we were saying, where's he going to go? And, I mean, I listed his stats, and he has pretty average stats, but he's declined. He hasn't been anywhere since his, MVP caliber season.
Yep.
It's that, I just watching games, even like week 3 when he played the Bucks, it seems like his kind of like moxie, his cocky kind of attitude, which was exciting and was kind of like his leadership trait. He was that cocky guy who would bring his teammates together, like, oh, we're playing these guys, we're gonna whoop them, and he didn't instill that into the players' minds, and it was just that kind of Cam Newton that led the team, and now, I mean, he's quiet. I haven't heard him say anything for weeks other than he's getting an ankle surgery or foot surgery. I mean, like, the guy's just quiet, and that's just, I think that's the biggest change for me with Cam Newton. He's just quiet now.
Exactly, and you look at guys like Lamar Jackson, and he fumbled the ball, first fumble of the season. He lost it. He was going down to all the offensive players like, my bad, my fault, and they had his back. I can't even see Cam Newton doing that. I can't see Cam Newton taking responsibility for anything, honestly.
Well, he didn't do that when they fumbled in Super Bowl 50. I mean,
right. I think his excuse was something like, I didn't want to get hurt or whatever. I mean, you're down.
You're Cam Newton.
Exactly,
I mean, you're like
exactly.
6'4", 6'5", like 230 pounds.
He's a linebacker. He's a linebacker playing quarterback.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that he was scared of injury. That guy would put himself between linebackers for a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, he's a big guy, and I don't know. Everybody still debates that, like, to this day. Yeah, definitely he wouldn't have pulled a Lamar Jackson there. Man, I don't know. I think Lamar Jackson is everything that Cam Newton could have been if he was just a better teammate, a better leader. And at the time, he was a good leader, but I kind of called him the anti-Tim Tebow. He's kind of like the opposite of Tim Tebow. Like, Tim Tebow's like all in this thing about, being a man of God. You saw how far that took him. It took him like a while in college football. I mean, he led college football. He's one of the probably the most popular athlete in the world at one point. And then, I mean, and Cam Newton himself, I mean, he got to that level too. Didn't inspire nearly as many people as Tim Tebow, but he kind of just had a work ethic that was like, let's go win this game. Also, let me get my money, and also I don't really care which team I'm on, and also I don't really care about my teammates as much. And not to say that he just doesn't care about his teammates, in total. I think, I mean, obviously every quarterback to get where they are has to for at some point, some angle, but not as much as these other guys that are with him. And yeah, I mean, if you just compare him to other quarterbacks in the league, you can see that's missing. And also, like, another thing people say about Cam Newton is he was never the same after he decided to go vegan. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but that's a true story, actually. So
that's funny.
Yeah. I don't really know the whole vegan argument and everything. Like, it seemed like he's skinnier now. He seems smaller.
He is definitely smaller, yeah. I mean, that's that's one of the reasons why he got hurt a lot. I mean, notice before he took hits like a beast. I mean,
Yeah,
he was running through guys, QB sneaking on 1st and 10. I mean,
yeah.
he
You
really
remember
didn't care.
the the goal line play against, I think it was the Texans, where the safety hit him and he did like a flip into the end zone.
Yeah, they've just replayed that on
Yeah, yeah,
ESPN today. I mean, literally,
Yeah,
like he was just taking hits like that. He even in college, I mean, he was not a machine that could get injured easily. And I mean, after he went
yeah,
vegan, I don't know, kind of became a glass cannon for a while.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see where Cam Newton
I
ends up
like that
next
glass.
year. Yeah, I mean,
I,
Glass
seriously,
cannon.
best way
I
I
can
can describe him.
honestly see Cam Newton going to the Dolphins maybe, and honestly I could see him being an
Uh,
heir to Drew Brees because I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is gonna re-sign with them just because I think they don't have the money to afford him because he's going to want a good contract. I mean, he's not going to want to keep bouncing from team to team, being a one-year journeyman like Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's going to want a contract. He's going to want to stay there, and I don't think the Saints can offer him that because they just paid Drew Brees somewhere like 70 million plus or something like that. So
Yeah, he's a
I
system
see.
quarterback, and he learned that system very quick in New Orleans, and you saw that when he won all those games without Drew
Yep,
Brees. I mean, he's
yep,
not going to want to learn a whole new system.
exactly.
yeah, he threw like right here it says like he threw like 1,400 yards almost. He had 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in what 70 games. So I mean,
Yes,
Sean Payton's actually one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most underrated offensive-minded head coaches in the league.
I would say that. Yeah.
He definitely would be
Because
a great head coach anywhere. He could probably turn the program around anywhere he went.
Oh, I believe
yeah,
that.
because they for years have been just waiting, at the 7-9 kind of 7-9, 8-8 kind of 6-10 records, and so they built around Drew Brees enough. They've built the whole entire team to where I mean now they're one of the most complete teams in the NFL.
Yeah. We'll see. Drew Brees gets hurt a lot, and the team can't really rally without Drew Brees. But Teddy Bridgewater, they absolutely could. And Teddy Bridgewater is the only reason the Saints are still in playoff contention right now. Because without Teddy Bridgewater, let's say they had, you know, well, Taysom Hill wouldn't have been starting, but like, let's say they had someone else like a Deshaun Kaiser kind of guy, they probably wouldn't have won 2, 3 games. So
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater
Oh
definitely
yeah.
stepped in.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like Cam Newton going there though. They might draft someone late first round because they're definitely making the playoffs, so they'll get a later round pick.
Yeah.
And there's a few guys this year that different coaches are looking at. I don't know about Cam Newton going there. Maybe
Jake
I don't know how
Fromm?
many.
Jake
I
Fromm to
don't
the
know how many.
Saints?
Yeah. I don't know how many teams would actually take a shot at bringing in Cam Newton because I mean how old is he? He's almost like
30. He's 30.
he's 30.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know
fairly
how many
old.
teams take it. Yeah, I don't know how many teams take a chance on a 30-year-old who's past 2 seasons been declining. So
Yeah. That's true.
I think the perfect team for him, and we said this last week or the week before, but I think the perfect team for him is the Bears. You look there, and you have a quarterback that he's reached
yeah,
his full potential. There's no way Mitchell Trubisky has any room to grow. He's a quarterback that the system is just not right for him. He just can't get it done. He lacks the talent to do it professionally and get where he needs to go professionally. And you saw that last year when they made the playoffs. They lost by a field goal. And when you lose by a field goal, that's contributed to nothing but your quarterback. You're able to get those points on the board, but you're not able to make drives at the end, that consecutive drives that are going to bring you clutch games and bring you clutch points and try to have a convincing win. So it would make sense if you had a veteran go into Chicago, one that's obviously declining, but Cam Newton at his worst is way better than Mitchell Trubisky at his best. So I think that's the best place for Cam Newton to go if he wanted to be successful and if his team wanted to be successful. So
We'll see. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky is a question mark because, like you said, he can't really rally a team yet. Last week he won, or this week technically, he won FedEx Air Player of the Week. Throws for 358 yards and 3 touchdowns to 1 interception, and he absolutely balled out. And then the week before that, his stats were like 278, and people are making fun of him like he overthrows his receivers by 20 yards, but I mean, he was making some dime throws last week, and it's
Yeah.
weird with Mitchell. It's weird.
He has his ups and downs for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because last year, I wouldn't say it was like a magic trick, but last year as a rookie, he showed promise. Matt Nagy was really creative with what he did with Mitch. They did a lot of, trick plays, kind of quick plays to get the ball out of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this year, Matt Nagy, all he's doing really is just developing his quarterback. He's putting more of it on Mitchell Trubisky. That's on the skill players, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's trying to force him to make those throws, force him to make those decisions, to drive the team down the field, and just stuff like that. And that's stuff that Mitchell Trubisky has to show he has. He can't show that he can throw some decent dunks along with a good run game and win a game with the team.
And talk about a wishy-washy quarterback. I just wanted to bring up Kirk Cousins because honestly, Kirk Cousins is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, but he's also a Dark Knight MVP because you look at his stats. He's thrown for 23 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He's completed 69% of his passes, and he has a quarterback rating of 111.9. I mean, if you take away the loss from the Seahawks, they're doing great. I mean, sure, he's 0-8 for Monday Night Football, which is a horrible stat, but I mean, he's bringing in this Vikings team that really, coming into the season, people didn't think they were going to do anything because they didn't know about Dalvin Cook because he played very well last year, but he got hurt, so he was recovering. They didn't know how he was going to be. Dalvin Cook's obviously a monster, and Kirk Cousins has been very efficient in his games that he's played, but the games that he lost, good. And it's funny to see, him in the spotlight. And I mean, they got the win 2 years ago against the Saints, brought them to the Super Bowl. Or no, not they didn't bring them to the Super Bowl, but
NFC Championship.
Right, NFC Championship. And if Marcus Williams had made that tackle, would they have even won that game? Who knows? But they did win that game, and Kirk Cousins moved them forward. And I believe it was it wasn't. Not at that time. It was Case Keenum, but I don't know. Kirk Cousins, I believe, is one of the best quarterbacks.
I was like, wait, was it Kirk Cousins?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was wrong. But Kirk Cousins, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's one of the worst quarterbacks at times. I don't know.
This is a weird comparison. It's like it might not be fully, warranted. I was gonna say kind of like Jameis Winston, but Jameis Winston's got a way bigger turnover problem than Kirk Cousins.
I would say that.
Yeah, Jameis Winston. I mean, he's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Isn't that what they were calling him? I know CBS was calling him like that the other day, and they even had graphics that they put up on the screen, comparing him. I mean, literally, he threw 2 picks to the Falcons, and this is all in the first quarter to the Falcons, and then all of a sudden, hits Chris Godwin, who goes between 3 defenders for a touchdown, and then all of a sudden he turns into Tom Brady for the rest of the game. Brett Favre, he just starts throwing dimes. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like he can have these hot streaks during a game, and then he'll stall one drive and he's cold, or in the half come back he's cold, or he'll just have a whole cold game. It's just really weird. Like the Giants, that's one of the best games I can compare that to. First half, he threw a whole bunch of yards, threw like 2 touchdowns to Mike Evans. We're up 25 to whatever, and second half the Giants came back and won the game.
Yep.
That's him for you. I mean, geez. I mean, that's the best way to sum him up is just a split personality almost. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah. Everybody has their ups and downs, and put Jameis Winston in there, put Mitch in there, put really whoever in there. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks in that same archetype, but Jameis is definitely kind of showing that off right now.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, probably.
Yeah, Sam Darnold too at this point.
Well, Sam Darnold's problem was Adam Gase, right? So now that Sam Darnold he's comfortable in the system, he has been
Adam Gase.
Right. He's absolutely he's not dominant per se, but he's doing very well. He's 9 touchdowns to 1 interception in the past 4 weeks. Last week it was a loss, but that really you can't blame it on him. You can, but you can't because all our receivers had crucial drops on the first drive that really stalled us out, and he didn't throw any interceptions and he didn't have any turnovers. So Sam Darnold is doing the best he can with really the absolute horrible offensive line he has.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went off on a rant there. I had to protect my quarterback,
No, you're all good. You're good. I mean,
Yeah.
100% though. I mean, Sam Darnold. Like I said, I mean, we talked about this week 1 too. It's also the run game. Like
Yeah.
he can't set up anything in the secondary, and there's no path for him to take down there when
Yeah.
he doesn't have an O line and running back that can kind of combine and get it going right now. So I think
Yeah.
that's a big thing too. Yeah, definitely.
And last year, they had Isaiah Crowell, and even Isaiah Crowell was making 100-yard games. Le'Veon Bell hadn't even eclipsed 80 yards. So you really see, number one, how bad the offensive line is, but also number two, how Le'Veon Bell isn't the same runner he was.
1 second, guys. I'm having like audio problems here. I'm not sure
No
exactly
worries.
like what's going on, but yeah, let me fix this real quick. I don't really know what's going on yet. All right, let's check if that works. Okay. Huh. All right, yeah, I think we're good. You guys can keep going.
All right.
All right, yeah. So for tonight, right? What do we got tonight? We got the Cowboys and Bears, right? So Okay, so both of these teams are 6-6.
Yep.
Who needs this win more?
I would say the Bears need this win more because the Cowboys sit first in the NFC East, and regardless if they win or lose, they are still a few games ahead of their rivals. And I say the Bears need to win most because they are third in the division, and if they can win this, if they honestly can go undefeated for the rest of the 4 games, I see them eking out a wild card spot.
You're probably right. I mean, you're probably 100% right. But this is number one. This is gonna be a good game, right? Because we have Amari Cooper and Ezekiel Elliott. I think they're both back healthy. I know Ezekiel Elliott was having some problems as well, and we know Amari Cooper has been having some little injuries here and there. I think they're both back. I think the Bears are healthy on both sides. I think that defense is almost completely healthy. I think there might be a couple players out on that, but no key players. So both these players in really good late season form. So if we can see some sort of big matchup, and I'm taking this game probably as I know the Cowboys can score, but I'm not sure about the Bears. So it could end up a little bit lopsided, but other than that, I think that both of these defenses are fairly good. I think Cowboys probably have better corners there, so they're going to take away Mitch a little bit, force that ball on the ground. And another thing is I think the Bears defense is solid, but they haven't really proven to be, what I projected at the beginning of the season. So I think Amari's going to score a couple touchdowns. I think Zeke's probably going to run through him for some yards in the red zone. But yeah, overall, it's going to be a good matchup for both sides. Ryan, what you think? All right, good talk, Ryan. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not sure where Ryan is, but yeah.
So real quick, I just want to bring up the Khalil Mack not being as productive, and I don't quite understand it because I've watched tape of him, and he's not being triple teamed like Aaron Donald.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see him triple teamed at all.
Right, and Aaron Donald right now has 9.5 sacks.
Teamed like Aaron Donald.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see him triple teamed at all.
For everything he's going through, like the triple teams, not a good production outside of him himself. Because when you don't have a good pass rusher or multiple pass rushers, that leaves triple teams for guys like Donald, and they can afford that because no one else is getting to the quarterback. Dante Fowler, he's doing better now that the season's progressing. And Clay Matthews, having him back, that's great because he's getting to the quarterback. So honestly, I think the Rams can make a push, and I think they can possibly make it to the playoffs. But they also have the 49ers and the
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yeah, Seattle
division.
Seahawks. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, welcome back.
I kind of, I cut out for a second. Came back. We were talking about the Bears and the Cowboys. That matchup things. I'm just gonna backtrace, kind of say what I was gonna say. Say, like you were saying, the Bears, they probably need this win more, but I can kind of see the Cowboys winning.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely can. I think that's who's gonna win this game.
I think the main thing this game is defense. The Cowboys' defense.
It's
They
pretty
have
solid.
exceptional. Yeah, they have exceptional cornerbacks. Their D line's pretty good. DeMarcus Lawrence leads that group, and then their linebacking core is very good with Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch. And so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think the Cowboys are going to take this one because I just don't think the Bears' offense can keep up. Because I know that the Bears' defense will at least slow them down, but I don't think that the Bears' offense can keep pace.
yeah,
Yeah, everybody's like I said, everybody's healthy. It should be a decent enough matchup on that end. But yeah, the Cowboys defense, solid defense. I mean that those corners are looking very, very good. And not only that, but that linebacking core. I mean, nothing through the middle really gets through. I mean, nothing
Yeah.
really gets through in that middle.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people are saying. But they definitely have played more aggressively uh, towards the edges this year, I think, and that's a big thing as well because it seemed like at the beginning of the season, DeMarcus Lawrence and I don't know who they had on the other side. They didn't have Michael Bennett yet, but it wasn't going as well for them on both sides on the edge rush.
Tyron Crawford.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, both of those guys did not look that great on the edge rush. So I'm not sure really what was going on there. But now that they've kind of played a little bit more aggressively with those linebackers, I think they're just trying to get really athletic young guys in there because I mean that's what it looks like to me. They go into the flats and they get guys on the edge and they set up for these blitzes and sometimes they drop back on fake blitzes on third down. So it's looking really good for that defense down in Dallas because those guys are lighting up the league, and I'm sure they're going to pick another linebacker in the draft this year, and he's probably going to just add. One second, guys. Let me fix this audio like very quickly. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I keep getting people telling me we're having audio problems, and apparently it's not picking up the audio from the call, so I'm not sure why. But yeah, let me fix that before we kind of
All
move
right.
on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. See, I got like the chats all turned up, but no audio is coming from Discord for some reason. Let me
I have no idea.
Yeah, let me make a new thing. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to make a new audio output. All right, and I'll call it Discord. Right? Yep.
Yep, there's Austin typing again.
Yeah, I got a mechanical keyboard, guys. It's all good. All right, talk real quick for me.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Dude, I have no idea what is going on right now, bro.
It's still not going through?
Nah, I don't know what's happening. Yo. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. It's not picking up the Discord from like you guys. It's only picking up like Discord from. It's picking your guys' voice up from my headset because you guys I got it turned up all the way, and I just realized that. So I don't actually know what's going on. Yeah, I know. I didn't think this was happening.
If you can hear this, Mom, I love you.
I don't know. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I'm not. Okay.
Nah, you're good.
Dude, that was so funny. Austin was like,